The bad news is that everyone is a potential victim. But the good news is that everyone is a potential solution. Sensitize the masses to sanitize. Keep a social distance and quarantine. Stop!
The coronavirus is sweeping over mankind.
Everybody must be alert. It's a global pandemic we can never take for granted. Kila mtu must be alert. It's a matter of life we can never take for granted. Discipline and personal hygiene, and make sure you regularly wash your hands.
Hello, my name is Dorothy Sevaka. I'm a married woman with children. I'm a registered nurse by professional, RN, BSN, and I'm the CEO of Women of Purpose, Whoopi Boston here in USA, and we have different chapters. So right now, we just want to emphasize on what kind of foods we are to eat during this pandemic. But before that, I just want to encourage each and everyone to always wear a mask, put on a mask and do the social distancing. And also, if you are sick, please, we encourage you, don't attend like churches or mosques or different, occasions. Don't socialize with others when you're sick. Stay home. We just want to emphasize on that. But because I'm going to be talking, I'm by myself, I can put the mask away. Yeah. So what kinds of foods we are to eat during the pandemic, nutrition in a pandemic kind of a crisis. During the normal times, remember, less people are not concerned about what foods they are supposed to eat, what they have to consume. But during a pandemic, during a time like this, you need to be aware what you are to put in your body. Remember, our bodies, they are the temple of God. You need to be aware what you put in your body. So I have different foods here. I call them the medicinal foods that we are going to talk about and we are supposed to consume during a pandemic. First of all, you cannot miss breakfast. Make sure every day you have breakfast. I have different things here. I always love the cereals because cereals, we have a lot of zinc. You can find a lot of zinc in cereal, and zinc is very helpful during this period of time. Special K is one of my best cereals, though I love Honey Bunch. For some of the people who know me, I eat a lot of Honey Bunch. Raisin Bran is another one. So eat some good food. You can do an egg with a slice of toasted brown bread. Don't eat a lot of bread because, bread, you can gain a lot of calories. There are lots of calories in bread. Those are carbs. Let me first talk about the bad foods that we need to avoid. Bad foods that we need to avoid are those fried foods. Do not fry your food. It's important for us to always bake or boil. Baking food is very important during this pandemic. Bad foods also, let me say this, in our community, we always find people eating like maize flour, posho, plus sweet potatoes, and then rice, and then you do chapati. Those are, it's same class. You are not doing any good when you're eating those 4 types of food at once. At least do a carb. You can say, I'm going to do rice, and then you put a lot of vegetables. I always tell people that half of your plate should be vegetables. Half. half of your plate should be vegetables, and others you can do a protein, which can be a fish or a meat, and then you can do then the carb, which can be a rice or potato or a posho or chapati, but you cannot do all of them at once, those carbs. And then you can do like a fat. You can do a peanut. We love peanut on our bananas. We do peanut, so don't forget that peanut has some fat, and it's important. It's so nutritious, and we can always access it. So the bad foods, avoid the bad foods, and then concentrate on the good foods. Let us see. During a pandemic, these medicinal foods that I'm talking about will be helpful for you to make sure that when you're sick, you're boosting your immunity, your immune system. We are now building our immune system, because if you don't, you will be sent to the hospital. You end up in the ICU, intubation, and all that. You don't need that. So make sure that you get the right foods that can boost your immune when you get the disease, what they call it, the COVID-19. It will not affect you as it will affect others who are not eating well. Okay, so let me say avocado. Avocado is very nutritious. So this is very important to add it on your diet. Please add it on your diet. When you go to the stores, you might think that, oh, these are very expensive, but know where you buy your things, okay? There are lots of markets that are a little cheaper than others, okay? So know where you shop so that you can get the right food instead of having a big cart full of junk food. Make sure you buy the right food. Okay, so I have yogurt here. The reason why I have yogurt, because most of the time when we are sick, we are prescribed antibiotics. And you know, when you have antibiotics, they take off all the good bacteria that we are supposed to have. The flora, some of you who know that, we have the good bacteria that are in our system. But if you take antibiotics, it will erase the good and the bad bacteria that we need. So these have live bacteria, sorry to say, but these have bacteria that will kind of replace. So when you are on antibiotics, make sure you do the yogurt, even when we are not in such a time as this. Yogurt is important. It will bring back the good bacteria. These are celeries. These are very good because they are greeny. Every greeny thing that you know on the planet that can be consumable as food, please go grab them. Spinach, cabbage has a lot of nutrition foods, things in there, but people don't, run for it. It's cheaper, even in the market here, it's cheaper wherever you go. So make sure you buy that. We talked about corn, like posho, and we say, do not do a lot of posho. But, posho comes from what they call corn, our corn back home. But this is good because it has a lot of water. So I encourage people also to, buy this even during like this time, because it's season. I believe it's the season. You need to buy the maize, this one that is fresh. It's important. It has a lot of water. It will be helpful. Also, let me say summer, we have still that pandemic is still here, though they told us during the summer it will go, but I believe we still have the pandemic, the COVID-19, but we pray that it go away. So we have what we call watermelon. Watermelon, it's good to consume things, seasonal foods. Watermelon is a seasonal food. Like in summer, we always have the watermelon. It's so fresh and it has a lot of water. Very, very important to consume that. Some of the snacks you buy, we shouldn't snack on things that are not healthy. So some of the snacks we can snack on: apples, oranges, mangoes. Okay, these are good snacks that we can do. Also, you can snack on the grapes. These are seedless grapes. There's the white grapes too are very good. Why am I saying all this? Because these have vitamin C. Vitamin C, very important for a time as this, okay? Vitamin C. What also is in vitamin C? This beats like the oranges. Kiwi has a lot of vitamin C. So you can buy kiwi. It can be expensive. It's not very expensive, I would say. If you have like a family of 7, you get seven of them. You can eat one kiwi or cut it in 2 and your family will be well. And this can be a good source of vitamin C for our children and also the elderly. So make sure you grab the kiwi. Bananas, I cannot emphasize enough. Okay, bananas is the most it has a lot of potassium. Potassium in banana, you eat one. You don't have to eat a lot to consume bananas. You eat, and the potassium is there because, again, with the respiratory issues and cardiac problems that we faced during the pandemic, you can lose the potassium. So you need to consume. There are some alkaline foods that have high alkaline, like pineapple. Pineapple is very important, and during this pandemic, you need to kind of add it in your food, in your diet, what you want to be having during this period. Okay, so what else? Vegetables, I cannot emphasize enough. You need all these good things. Cayenne pepper, very important because it helps with congestion during this time. You need to put them together so it can help. What else? Spinach, all those green things. You can put them in, you can make juice out of all these greens. I always do juices, so I can pot everything in a juicer and I make a good juice, and it's healthy. So please do not hesitate to call me if you need to. I can come and explain it better. Also, these are the medicinal foods. Remember, mushrooms. We used to have mushrooms back home. Still do. Carrots in each and everything. Carrots is very good when you are making juices. So add juice. I mean, add carrots in your juices because it's very, very good during this period. Okay, so let me talk about the pumpkin. Pumpkin too has a lot of zinc because during this time we need zinc in our body. So pumpkin canes, remember? Seeds, remember our pumpkins, but the seeds you can always get. The way I eat this, I was telling Alan how I prepare this. With soup, I just boil or bake or boil the chicken soup and I add it in. After I have the carrots, tomatoes, all the green things, and I just put them during my time when I'm